The Last of Us has already been renewed for Season 3, but co-creator Craig Mazin is teasing that a fourth season might be necessary to wrap up the HBO show. Following the release of The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6, there's only one episode left in the follow-up installment of HBO's live-action adaptation of Naughty Dog's hit post-apocalyptic franchise. Mazin currently serves as the showrunner alongside Neil Druckmann, and though they've stayed true to many of the game's story elements, like with Joel's tragic death, the show has made notable changes along the way. Like The Last of Us Part 2 game, Abby is the one who kills Joel in the show. Following the murder, many have wondered where Abby has been in The Last of Us Season 2, seeing as she's not directly seen. Based on the sequel game's story structure, Abby will very likely be crucial for The Last of Us Season 3, but that probably won't be the end of Ellie and Abby's journey. In an interview with Collider, Craig Mazin revealed that he believes The Last of Us will need a fourth season. Here's what Mazin said about Season 3 and a potential Season 4, what Craig Mazin's comments mean for The Last of Us Season 4. The Last of Us showrunners don't want to rush the story. Compared to The Last of Us Season 1, the second season is 2 episodes shorter, coming in at 7 total episodes. Based on Craig Mazin's comments, it seems like The Last of Us Season 3 will aim to be closer to the first season's episode count. As noted, that also means more of an opportunity to explore original content or dive deeper into certain aspects, like the case with The Last of Us Season 1's Bill and Frank episode. While Joel's death will still be a factor throughout the rest of The Last of Us, Season 3 will shift into Abby's perspective, if following the game. The Last of Us Season 3 was announced ahead of the Season 2 premiere, which is a good sign for the HBO adaptation. If Mazin is already teasing a potential Season 4, it's possible that there's enough of the story mapped out to justify HBO's consideration of a fourth and final season. The most likely outcome comment is also a good indicator that talks are already happening. Any kind of uncertainty regarding The Last of Us' future on HBO would only jeopardize the satisfying conclusion Mazin and his team have planned. Our take on Craig Mazin's plan for The Last of Us Season 4. A fourth season could show Ellie and Abby after the events of Seattle. Abby in the hospital corridor looking over her shoulder in The Last of Us Season 2. On the narrative side, Mazin's hopes for The Last of Us Season 4 are intriguing when considering the sequel game's story. As mentioned, Season 3 will likely focus on Abby since her time in Seattle is presented, making her the playable character. Depending on how The Last of Us Season 2 wraps up, it would make sense for Season 3 to finally reveal what Abby was up to while Ellie and Dina were in the area looking for her. Then, The Last of Us Season 4 could follow the events following Ellie and Abby's confrontation in Seattle before wrapping up their respective arcs. Abby's story leans into more of the conflict between the WLF and the religious cult known as the Seraphites, including the introduction of new characters. More episodes within Season 3, however, could allow The Last of Us to include Ellie, Dina, and other Jackson characters in interesting ways, so that it's not a total Abby-centric season. Even after Ellie finds Abby, there's a lot of story left to tell involving both characters. Plans for The Last of Us Season 4 would avoid any need to rush their post-Seattle fates, while giving the game's concluding chapters the story focus it deserves.